Good evening. It is Saturday and it is the evening. It's getting on for, I don't know, 5:30, something. I don't know, I don't have a watch on and my phone's in my pocket. Listen, I'm down, I'm staying the night tonight so that I can do some work tomorrow. The young folk have got exams on, I think, which is why they're not really available just now. But that does give me the opportunity to come down and stay either in the building or in my van. I tend not to camp. I'm a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to that. I'm keen for the young folk to camp, and I will camp. I will camp if they are in a tent. I'll be in a tent, or I'll put the tarp up around the fire, whichever. But if I'm down here by myself, my van's got a diesel heater and the building's got a log burner. So I thought I'd come down and have a look at this. It blew over, I think, 2 years ago. So that tree there, the smaller tree, that actually blew over more recently. But you can see it's fairly hefty and we've already trimmed it, but it didn't flop. This one was one that did not flop back down. That made a scary noise. I'm going to put the camera on. I'm a good bit through, but it's still hanging. Obviously it's just going to go down, but there's a chance that it might roll off this log. This is quite rotten, so, and this might flop as well, so I just need to be aware. This is me just clearing my escape route of this dog bowl. I'm going to run towards you, probably screaming. That was really anticlimactic. The electric chainsaw that I've got is not an expensive chainsaw. It's one up from the bottom. I never buy the most expensive stuff because I just don't see the point. I think it's overpriced. I think you're just paying for the name. The stuff I buy is Einhell stuff, and I got it ages ago because I got the batteries and the batteries fit everything. And that chainsaw, I have abused that chainsaw quite badly. It's a double battery, the 36 volt Einhell double battery thing. There's a single battery version and a double battery version, low profile chain, and it's meant for like pruning. It's not meant for that. I mean, that's pretty hefty, and I'm not going to say it likes it, but it does not like it either. It does just go through it. I missed the flop. Do you know, I was cutting a branch off away at the end here, tiny wee twig, and it was just enough to upset the equilibrium that it just gave way. I heard it flop. Dang it. See this? Should have left the camera running. That's a big pile of, probably can't see that very well, but that's a lot of wood cleared. If you've got a big job to do and you're just looking at it and the enormity of it, the totality of it is just putting you off, you just need to start. You just make a start, you plug away. It might take you a few days, but you start, and eventually you'll get to a stage where you're nearly finished. And we're nearly finished, so this felt to me like something that I just wouldn't be able to do. It was too much, but we've not got much to do now, so we're going to finish off today, and then our outflow will be clear and we'll be able to redig it, and I'll show you. We'll walk the entire length of it from the pond to the fence line, and I'll show you where it's blocked. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I still don't know how the video views are going. We go from, you know, like hundreds of views to like 19 views. I don't know how that works. So I hear you asking, why do we do this long, what we call a brush wall, and this? Why do we pile our logs in a lattice like this? So the reason we do that is, firstly, that's good burnable timber. Now, you may have noticed there's no shortage of timber already away up the hill there. So humping all that up there seems a bit superfluous, but if you leave it just lying on the ground, it will sink here because the ground's quite boggy. In the short term, it kind of just makes the ground difficult to work. So if we're down here strimming, which we may do, you have to strim round it, and you just lose a lot of twine, strimmer, line to it because it just snarls up on it. The brush walls, I think, are aesthetically pleasing. I just like the way they look. I don't know why, but I just think a brush wall it just looks good. And also, it's really good for wildlife. I was sitting up in the van there while I was mucking about procrastinating on Facebook, and I was looking out the window, and there was a stoat, a wee white-bellied stoat, foraging in our brush wall next to where the part of the shooting range is. Just darting back and forth. There's birds in there. There's probably lizards. I don't know what kind of lizards they'd be, but there are geckos, Komodo dragons, probably Komodo dragons. So these are havens for wildlife, and we just let them go. That'll just break down. And in a couple of years' time, except for the big bits, I've put some quite large logs in there because they're just either waterlogged already or just dead, completely dead. There was a brush wall on that ridgeline there, and it was quite high, quite certainly noticeable. It looked quite good from the road, aesthetically pleasing, but it's gone now, it's just broke down. The other thing that brush walls are somewhat useful for, although here it's a bit moot because we've got like loads of wood lying around, is for firewood. So you can just come here very gently, carefully, making sure not to bother Mr. Stoat or Mrs. Lizard, get some firewood off it. I say that, and I mention that for one reason, because some people don't know how to wild camp. That's fine. I would say if you're not familiar with wild camping, there is no shortage of sources of information for wild camping. You can't wild camp here, the grounds are looked after. You wild camp on ground that is not looked after. It's obviously not managed in any way, shape or form. So you can go online and find videos about that, but here, because everything's like kept under control, if you come here you wouldn't be wild camping. Also, we've had people camp here thinking they're wild camping. I don't get it. I mean, we've got signs up literally asking for money, so that's a clue. That's definitely a clue. I mean, the facilities aren't great, but then it's not exactly expensive either. It's like £5 per head per night, and you get all this glorious. Anyway, if you're burning wood, don't burn like what I would call constructional wood. So any wood that's been worked, why would you burn that? Why would you burn that when there's like just literally, I mean, so we've had people come and they were burning the stobs that the Polish Scouts left, And it's like, why would you do that? You're literally surrounded by wood you can burn. Why would you burn that? It doesn't even burn that well. It's really hard. It's been treated. It's been dried and all that. It doesn't burn that well. And you're just like... So anyway, so if you are wild camping, do your research, because it is a quid pro quo. There is a right to roam, a right you can wild camp, but not everywhere. And even where you can wild camp, it is a balance, a quid pro quo. And don't wild camp here. The email address is up there if you want to camp here. You're more than welcome. You need to pay the fee, and don't leave a mess. But we're at the top where the outflows. I'm actually standing on it, and this is it starting here, and you can see it just there. The pond is low. Usually I would be in it where I am just now. I'd be standing in it. It's silted up, so we probably need to dig this out a little bit at least. And I think generally there's maybe not just quite enough throughput on the pond. We'll walk as much as we can in it, and then we'll go to one side of it. So here we are, and we're just coming down. This is us crossing the path, so that goes down to the river, and that goes obviously back up. There's our break, just to orientate you. And we're down here. This is by no means is this in any way, shape or form. And then all of a sudden we come to this, where there's been a waterfall, and there's something growing in. I mean, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. I'll stir it. Hold on. I've got something I can stir this with. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like major amounts of I don't know what even that. Ooh. Right, there's like goop. I think we need to get a rake and. What is all that cloudy stuff? What is that? I think it's like dead. I don't know. Hey, let's not get bogged down. I can see it's kind of fusty is the word I'd use. So we're out of it now because there's water there. I poked that there with a stick. So this is flowing slightly, as you can see, but it doesn't flow for very long. So we cross over here, and then we come down to the area that I worked on. This is probably the worst part, where it's seriously backed up. It is flowing a little bit. This is work. It's very therapeutic working on this. Imagine just like clearing all this. I mean, I don't think we could, because one of the big problems, I don't think there's enough of a slope on the land here for it to flow quickly enough. So this is all the trees. This was absolutely overgrown. All of this stuff here was cut over the past sort of 4 or 5 weeks, and it was all basically in here or overhanging here. So there was lovely scummy sort of thing on there. So, and we're walking, so we're crossed back over here, and you can see we've got these are the whitewater rapids of Tow Ford. Nice scummy bit there. I wouldn't drink this, to be honest. That's our bridge, sort of. It's not really a bridge. I think it just fell there and it's too heavy for me to lift. So keep going. There's like beasties and creepies and yeah, okay. And then we've got this tree, which I'm waiting until I get some young folk down, because I can cut that fine, but there's no way I can lift it. So I'll get that cut when there's some young folk down. Here we have the Towford Cataract. That's like for a waterfall, not eye thing. So there is a waterfall here, but this is just a big old tree where the root structure just got split in two. The water just washed away the mud, and here we are. So that's what's going on there, and it's more fused down there. I don't know what's going on there. Oh crap! Ooh. Ow! Went down into Mordor there. Good grief! Let's poke this. This might be interesting. So if we jump over here, I really want to dig this out, but I want to let the young folk do it, because it's, you know, it's one of life's attractions. What's there? That's the roots. That's made a huge difference, as you can see. It's a gusher. Anyway, so we've got all the way down there. Let's go this side, back over. Let's not go there, I went paw deep almost. So we're walking, and then we're down here, more goop under the bridge. And cross over. So you can see it's very stagnant here, and we're getting close to where why it's backed up. So let's keep going. Have more wood cleared here. Pretty much not moving at all here, stagnant. And then here it just gets really confusing. So there's been something going on here, some sort of tree, and it's just got bogged down. And this is basically where it stops. This is what I did this morning. There's a handsome pile of logs, big old tree stump. Get Thomas to pull that out with one hand probably, and then it just kind of grinds to a halt here under this tree here. See, these trees have all been undermined by the way it was dug. And then here, believe it or not, is where the rest of it's supposed to go this way, and you can kind of see the rough outline of that it's completely silted up. This used to be like a channel that was perhaps a foot deep, but it's completely silted up, so this needs redug. It's kind of not so bad down at this end. I dare say it's not level though. If anyone knows what we can do about this, you know, a better way to it's cheap, let us know. Put something in the comments below. Subscribe as well, because that would help. And then we're at the fence line. Bit busy down at the ford today. And then we've got the pipe here, which goes under the road and it continues. So there you go, that's us. That's the outflow in its entirety. And up till now, it wasn't possible to walk it, and now we can walk it, and now it means we can get access to it with tools. And comment below, let me know what you think. So if you've got any ideas about how we might generate some income, please let me know in the comments below. Hopefully the young people will be back to do this sort of work, because I obviously can't cope. I've ran out of fizzy Haribo as well, so yeah, we've reached a crisis point. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.